Hello, 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 beautiful unicorns. Welcome back to our weekly live podcast called Heal the Unicorn that we live stream into our Facebook group called Heal the Unicorn Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women. So if you listen to this podcast on a different platform and you're looking for a wholesome community of like-minded women, then come and check out our Facebook group and see if this is a community that you have been looking for, that you can feel comfortable and safe on and during and throughout your different stages and levels and evolutions of healing and spiritual growth. As always, your loyal hosts, Anna Angelova.
Hey everyone, my name is Anna Angelova, an energy leadership coach with Empath Unicorn Academy, where we help spiritual women create a life full of abundance. And I'm a co-host of this podcast for the past couple of months now, and it's always a pleasure being here, having the conversation, sharing our insights, and also hearing from you, especially in the group, the women in the group, like the conversations we have in the comments. It's fantastic, and I'm really excited.
Awesome. Thank you for that awesome intro. And myself, as a host, Yana Kasperczak, your certified professional performance and spiritual awakening core energy coach. And it has been my soul's purpose to help women, to help you get your shit together so you can break free from that mental prison you find yourself in and build a business, life, and or a career that you are obsessed with. So today the topic that we wanted to bring to you all um, is we want to talk about authenticity in leadership, specifically when it comes to inspiring others through your truth. Here's where I'll start. I like to do things backwards, right? I'm sure all of you sometimes like to do things backwards. Instead of reading the whole entire book, you read the back of the book, right? Like the very back page that tells you what the book is about. And then you decide if you want to read the book or not. So, doing things backwards, sometimes I've even read books backwards, just last chapter and kind of going that way. You can't watch movies that way because it doesn't really work that way. Um, so here's how I'll do it backwards. Your truth is your reality. It is your perception and it is yours. There will always be people who will not only challenge your truth, your reality, your perception, but also don't believe it. And there's also going to be people who, pardon my language, but they're not part of my language, who don't give a shit about your truth or about anything. They just only care about themselves. And then there's those that you will never come in contact with. So this is the truth that we all must learn to accept, or at the very, very minimum, be okay with and tolerate this truth that no matter what we say, no matter what we do, no matter how amazing we believe that we're showing up and how great we're putting our truth into words and try to get the message or the point across, there will always be people who won't get it, who don't care, who will challenge it, who will twist it around as well. I mean, there's a variety of people. How many billion of people are on this planet? And for some reason, all of us human beings, especially us women, we have this program within us that I refer to as people pleasing. That we want everyone to like us. We want everyone to notice us, to hear us, to understand us. But that will never be the reality. That will never be the actual truth because of all of these billions of people in this world, you can't have them all on your side. You can't have them all like you. Just choose the ones that you want to please. We can't turn this people pleasing off. It's part of what makes us human. So what can we do? We can choose. We can choose who we want to please, who we want to make happy. But as long as it doesn't require us to do backflips, that let's be honest, makes will make our back sore. Most of us we don't do gymnastics. So, and yet we try to. We're not meant to bend over backwards for anyone. Not even necessarily for ourselves, because that often means that if you're bending yourself backwards, then you're not doing it. It's almost like a really going against you. You're meant to bend yourself forward. It's similar to why would you go backwards when you're meant to go forward? So, and then the other part of the topic for today, authenticity and leadership, inspiring others through your truth, is you are a leader, and every single human being is also a leader, whether by choice or by default. We're all leaders. And as a leader, it is also your responsibility to be as authentic as you can be and continue to discover and uncover your authenticity and your truth and stick to what you know best, which is yourself. And stop trying to be someone else. Stop trying to please everyone and just please yourself. Make sure that you're happy with you, you, that you get to a place where you actually love yourself and you can look yourself in the mirror and really feel that love and not cry or not feel some kind of a negative feeling and emotion towards yourself, towards that you that you see in the mirror. And when you step into your true authentic self, you will love yourself as a whole. They're even the parts of you that you once saw as flaws, you will appreciate them and love them and say, fuck yeah, that's me. One of the things that I'll give you an example. One of the things that I have my own kind of humor. We all have our own kinds of humors, right? And there's people in my life, and it comes from a place of love where they try to protect me and say, "Ooh, Yana, that's weird. Don't post that. Don't say that. Don't do this. Don't do that." And I'm just like, I found myself in the place where well, fuck, might as well just go hide in the basement behind closed doors. No one will ever see or know me because I can't be myself in this way and this way and that way. And it's coming from a place of love from people in my life because they don't want to see me hurt. Well, how would I get hurt? Because there's always those people, like I said in the beginning, that no matter what you do, they won't like you, they won't accept you, they will challenge you, they will call you all kinds of different things. Their mission unconsciously in life is to crush quote unquote all the bugs that they see in this ball that we call Earth. So I've just chosen and decided a while back to be myself, and it's the best thing I've ever done. And that's why you'll see some weird posts from me as well, like today from the fuzzies, because my cat is getting fixed today. Speaking, oh no, that's a different one. My daughter's school now was calling. So, um, just be yourself. That's how I'll pass the mic to Anna while I respond to this voice call. Okay, Anna, your turn.
It's a great point to pass the ball because speaking of being yourself, like one of the most important things, like when we talk about authenticity and inspiring others through your truth, is actually really knowing who you are. And this was one of the things that for me was one of the eye-opening experiences with IPEC. Like, so when we were at IPEC for the coaching training, one of the things, was it mod 2 when we did this? I don't remember. Uh, but there was this idea that they presented that the values we have, they might not all be anabolic. And that some of the values we have, although they're considered values, they are not our values. There were our values that we hold and beliefs that we hold, but we hold them because our parents taught us this, a society around us. But deep down, It's not really us. It's not really us. And that's why one of the things we do, right? One of the things we do with the women we work with is identifying, uncovering who you truly are and really understanding, even when you look at the value. So you might think, oh, it's amazing to have your family as a value, to have mm, kindness as a value, cooperation, helping others, whatever it is, right? You might have all these things as values and thinking they're great, right? These are values. But when they're not yours, you actually are not coming from your real, true, authentic self. And it shows up. Like it shows up, and we feel this. Like we feel as human beings, like we feel this, even if we don't realize it, consciously, subconsciously, we feel it when someone is not true to herself, right? So this was the first thing I wanted to mention around the importance of really understanding who you truly are, what you really believe in, what are your values, and um, the this thing that like the second thing that you mentioned, Yana, which uh, for me, like one of the things is that okay, I know who I am, I know what I stand for, and one of the fears that comes sometimes, and like when you're sharing how some people around you're saying, oh, don't post this, it's weird. It's the fear of judgment. It's the fear of being ridiculed, of not being accepted, right? And we've mentioned this before as well, that some of these fears, they're things that have been developed like, through the ages. Like when we depended on our small tribe to survive, being part of this tribe was really important. Being accepted was really important. And that's why it's really so ingrained. And sometimes we fear that, oh, if I show my true colors, if I show what I stand for in a world that resonates at level 1 and 2, in a world that thinks that the best way to solve problems is by fighting and focuses on problems, if I stand up and say, oh, this is who I am, this fear sometimes holds us back. And our one of the reasons why we're having this conversation today is to help you understand that the world actually needs you to shine your light, to shed those fears and shine your light. And when we talk about leadership, when we talk about authenticity and empowering others and inspiring others, this is all from like level 5. And it's a very anabolic, very highly anabolic and constructive level. And it's a place where you stop having those fears and you start getting into like seeing the opportunity instead of being afraid of, oh, what will happen if I really show up the way I am, if I post a picture of the fuzzies of my cat, what will happen? You actually see an opportunity to share something with your people, with the community, based on what you're going through right now, and something that's kind of funny as well, right? Not everyone will do this. And again, the world needs us to shine our light. But first and foremost, like figuring out what it really means for you to be your authentic self, right? Like what it really means. And then I know that a lot of, especially we women, right? We're thinking, oh, I'm not a leader. I just have a job or something like this. At home, no one is even listening to me. But one of the things that I really love IPEC's definition of leadership, and it's that leadership is inspiring yourself and others to action. It's moving yourself and others to action. So worst case scenario, we are all leaders because we lead ourselves to action. And even small actions like getting out of bed and moving to the couch, for example, is leadership. It is leading ourselves. So this is actually the third point I really wanted to touch on with the leadership, that absolutely we are all leaders. And if you have doubts about it, like draw a line in the sand today and keep on, like forget about it. Like, say, okay, I used to believe I'm not a leader, but from today forward, I'm getting better and better at believing that I am a leader. I lead myself, I lead my family. There are so many other people who look up to me even without me realizing it. People at work, people in the community. So from today onwards, this is one. If you get one thing from today's conversation, let it be that you are a leader and people look up to you. And now don't get to this with like the thought of, oh, like it's a burden. No, it's actually a great thing, because by us shining our own light and showing up authentically, we actually motivate and inspire others to show up authentically. Like when we take time off of work to go exercise, for example, others see it, even if we are not the lead of the team, right? Even if we're not managers. Like if we book time in our calendar and say, okay, this is the time when I exercise, I don't accept meetings, other people get inspired by what we do. And even small things, like I personally have experienced at work. So when I was with RBC Capital Markets at some point, when I joined, I have a way that I set up meetings with the meeting invite, clearly I set objective for the meeting agenda. And then after that, I sent meeting minutes with who attended, what are the action items, like who the tasks, who needs to do what, by when, and some notes. And shortly after joining the team, others in the team started sending the same meeting minutes just like mine, like just using the same format with who attended it, the action, like the tasks in a table, and then the notes, like just listed down there. And I was not hired as a manager. I was hired as a business analyst, and even not managing people, like even something small like this, like sending meeting minutes after the meeting so I can summarize what's going on, who needs to do something. Like it is leadership. It is leadership, and this is something that really, really helps, for me at least, helps put things into perspective, that the small actions, sometimes we see the outcome, right? Sometimes we see how we impact people, but sometimes we don't. We don't even realize that by taking a small step, by taking the small step of booking time in our calendars to exercise, saying no to something because your kid has a basketball practice or a hockey practice. I think the hockey season is still on. I think basketball is still on as well. But like for some of these things, like saying no, like you set an example, and people. This is one of the things with leadership. The best way we lead is by setting an example.
Mhm.
When we tell someone what to do, they'll really listen to us. But the best way we lead is by really showing up as our best selves, as our authentic selves, and setting an example. And it's even the small things, like it's not the big things. It's actually the small things that rub off that for others. And mm, even if you think, oh, this is insignificant, no, it's significant. It is one small change, like one tiny change that moves forward and raises the consciousness of the world.
Mhm. Um, I know I was MIA for a little bit. I heard a little bit here and a little bit there. It wasn't a call for from the fuzzies. That one I'm still waiting for. That was a call from my daughter, and this is where the guidance counselor decided I mean, they don't know what our
Yeah,
life
their
is like,
schedule.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And decided to have a conversation about one of the math classes that we picked for Mila for next year to make sure that it's the right one. Because and this is where like I've learned to speak my truth, and I'll use this as an example now as well. So here's how I got to practice it this year, whereas the last year as well too, but prior to that, not so much. I was more of pushover. doormat, whatever we want to put labels as our previous versions of ourselves. Or sometimes, maybe for some of you, it might be the current one. It just shows you then what's possible because all we're doing here in this community is really because you were talking about shining a light on yourself and holding a light. I was hearing it as holding a torch and leading the way through a dark forest. That's what we're all doing for each other. That is what my purpose is here as well, to hold this torch in the dark forest. And the reason why it's a torch is because no matter how bright you shine or you shine the way for others, you can't see everything. You can't see through the whole entire forest, especially not at night. So with this example, how I got to practice speaking my truth and being a leader is that um, with our daughter, we have decided that we're going to make sure that she's taking all the courses and classes in high school that are actually going to help her and not just filler classes or just to get through high school. I did that. And I mean, it was fun, but it didn't really teach me too many real life values, right? Didn't really prepare me for life in that way because I just took the easy path as much as I could. And for me, my parents weren't involved in that. Biggest reason why is they didn't really understand the language. So I was like, nah, it's okay, I got it, got it. And whereas with our daughter, we as parents, my husband and I, we see it as that we wish we were pushed more. And it not just pushing you do this as and do as I tell you, but pushing in a way of I believe you and I believe in you. I know you can take this course and you can take this course, and I believe that you don't need a spare class because hey, you go to school, they're offering you access to all of this knowledge and courses and programs for free. Mind you, it's not because we pay taxes, so we're paying for it, but for free, quote unquote. And why would you waste that opportunity by having a spare, which means no class and you just, have fun with your friends? Take that class, take this class. If it's hard, we'll get you a tutor. Not a problem. And then on top of that, YouTube is full of tutors as well. So you can have a tutor, you can have access to YouTube tutors, and you can learn. If you're having a challenge in one class, life is full of challenges. If you struggle to solve this simple challenge that I know is not simple when you're there, when you're in high school, then this is the habit and the view and the approach and the program that you're going to bring into your adulthood. And you will find yourself avoiding opportunities for growth and evolution. You will avoid challenges and you will unconsciously say no to anything that would require you to learn and grow because you didn't learn how to do it in the way that you love or at least like and appreciate in high school. I hated high school. I don't know about you all, but I hated it. I didn't like it. I did not enjoy. I thought it was a waste of time. I just wanted to go and have fun with my friends. Yeah, there's some classes that I liked and enjoyed. It was a cooking class, drama class. It was too stressful. I barely spoke English. I don't even know why I took it. I think I had no choice. But it forced me to be in front of the small audience in the classroom while I was like sweating and shaking and barely speaking any English. So, yeah, public speaking was not my forte. Most of us, it's not our forte. And honestly, I don't remember any other classes. Oh, there was a math class I really liked, and this is the one that I was called about right now to make sure that she's taken that one, right? So prior to this, the point of this is that I would have just stay quiet and let my daughter pick the classes and let her teachers pick the classes because they did that at one point. We spent time, picked all the classes for her for grade 11 and grade 12. She comes back. 2 days later telling me that her and her teacher changed some classes and decided this one was going to be too hard for her. This one is too hard for her. And I was like, oh, normally, like the old me would have been like, oh, that's okay. Your teacher knows best. It's fine. Now I'm like, no teacher's going to tell me and my kid what to do. No, no, no. We ain't doing that. So we sat with her. I went through all these classes and made sure that because my goal as a parent is to remind my child that she's more than capable. She's capable of more than what she believes she is. And that's my job as a coach as well. To,
I love this story and what you're
right?
sharing. I know this is a bit off topic, but oh wow. So it's so weird, interesting that how things are done because I don't remember which one it is, Finland or Sweden or whatever, one of these countries where I read how when studies are done, what they do is they actually implement based on the findings of the study, they implement things. And you've probably seen online as well how their schools, especially younger age kids, are actually outside. They play outside, they
Yeah.
do things outside. Like, so they're saying we spend millions and millions of dollars to see what's the best way for kids to learn, and like why like was the reason for spending these millions of dollars if we don't implement what they tell us. And why I'm starting from this a bit off topic, but there was not a study, I think more of an experiment done, where teachers were told that certain, before the start of the school year, were told that certain kids are very smart and will do great in their classes. And these kids were randomly selected. So they were not in any way tested or anything like this. They were randomly selected. What happened is that these kids who were pointed that they'll be A students, A plus students, were A plus students. And one of the things was that self-fulfilling prophecy where the
Mm.
teachers were actually paying attention to these kids, making sure these kids understood what's going on and what they're teaching them. And what my mind, the fact that we have done these kind of studies and experiments and still having teachers who say, "Oh, you're too stupid to do this kind of thing,"
Right?
is like a yes, I understand being realistic. Now, speaking of some of these things, I will never go to a singing anything cause you don't want to hear me sing.
Yeah,
It's
now I
not
want to
my
hear you
thing.
sing.
It's not my thing, right? So yes, don't push me. I know, I think X Factor used to have those people that is like, how do these people go there? It's like, didn't anyone tell them that they can't sing or they have no talent? But anyway, so uh, yeah, it's really, and again, those beliefs that our teachers even put in our heads,
Yeah.
right? That, oh, you're not a leader, like you're not a, if you, I am.
Yeah.
So draw the line and speak up, especially for the ones who can't speak for themselves or haven't learned yet to do this.
Hmm.
Be the example, exactly. Be the example. So yeah, thanks for sharing this story. And I know we went a little bit off topic, but
No, I
uh,
feel like it's right on topic because the biggest part of being a leader and being authentic is really knowing who we are. And how we identify who we are is also those messages that have been given to us by our teachers. Being labeled as stupid or slow or unintelligent, or being told that, ooh, this class is going to be too hard for you, can't do it. And there was one class, it was a psychology class actually in grade 12, that her teacher told her, oh no, you can't do that. It's going to be so hard for you. And when she came home, I inside I was livid. Outside, because inside I'm like, bitch, please, like, listen, you do not tell my kid she can't do this because you don't know who she has for a mother. You don't know who she has for a father. You don't know who's in her life that can help her to get through, not just get through, but perhaps they maybe even thrive and be the top of the class in a psychology class. And here you are telling her you can't do it based on your assumption of who she is today. Because who she is today is not who she's going to be in a year or two, or even in a month or two. You don't know what plans even we have for her. And here you are telling her, oh, that's going to be a really, really, really hard class. You can't do it. It's going to be so hard. Everybody's crying about it. What you're doing is you're feeding fear into this child, and you're setting and creating limitations for her. And this is why I was so livid, is because these teachers are the ones that need to be going through the psychology classes that they're terrifying their kids about, and understand the not potential damage, but the damage that they're actually doing to a 15-year-old child, creating these glass ceilings and telling them what they cannot do. And then because they believe that, similar to what you were talking about, teachers are being told, let's say, for the lack of, better words, but let's say there's a really intelligent child and not so intelligent child, and the not so intelligent child is being put in the classroom where a teacher is told this is a highly intelligent child. Now the teacher believes that the teacher is going to treat this child as if they're really intelligent, and now this child believes that they are intelligent, and the teacher believes, versus the other way, where a student is trying to discover, because all of them are trying to discover who they are and try to see themselves as the most intelligent child or human being. And when a teacher is telling them or making them question that they're not, or simply telling them you ain't smart enough without using those words, that the child is going to believe them. They
Yeah,
will.
and the other way works as well, right? Like the other side works as
Hmm.
well. I've heard a story from Darren Hardy. Uh, he mentions a teacher he had who, at the beginning of the year, she said, "You are all A students, and my job is to help you be A students throughout the year."
Yeah.
She started in this way, and he was saying how, and to prove this, she in the beginning she gave them a very easy test, right? Something where everyone had A, and it motivates you, right? Like it's like, oh,
Hmm.
I'm an A student, and then you start thinking, all these kind of things that, oh, an A
Yep.
student is someone who actually studies. Like they read the notes and things. They take notes in class. They study. They do these things. And he was saying how she, in a way, contributed to him becoming an A student. And like, you see how like both sides like approaching it in a way where you limit someone, and then in approaching in a way where you lift someone up. And
Yeah.
leadership is all about lifting people up.
Hmm.
It's about shining our light and not just showing the way forward, but also letting people go on their own, right? Like find their own path,
Yeah.
choose how to grow and how to continue on their own, especially when we talk about kids, right? Like one of the things is that ultimately they choose their own path at some point, and they become independent people who like you want your daughter, you want your son to shine their light, find their path, and really be happy. And um, leadership is all about empowering them to do this, and
Hmm.
putting limiting beliefs on people is not the way. Yeah.
Yeah, they're still gonna have them. All of us are gonna have them, but they don't have to be like, we can have a few of them or we can have baggage of them. And one point I just want to make is that when it comes to authenticity and leadership, and you inspiring others through your truth, is it really starts with you knowing yourself and you understanding and uncovering all of these programs and messages that have been given to you. If you were told in school, since we're talking about school and teachers, and here's the thing though, none of these teachers are doing it on purpose. They're not. They're not aware of what they're doing, what they're saying, because what they're trying to do, they're also coming from a place of love. That's why teachers become teachers because they love what they do and they want to help kids in school. So I'm not saying they're bad teacher, bad, bad, bad. I'm saying that simply I'm aware of, being the outsider and seeing and hearing it, and I understand where the teacher's coming from because it's coming from a place of love and making sure that the child is happy and feels seen and heard, because I also don't know what my daughter is saying at the same time to add to that conversation. So it's one-sided, and this is me making my own assumptions and interpretations. And the goal of us, or the point that I'm trying to make, is that the goal for us as leaders, as an individual, is to get to know ourselves through the eyes and lenses of others. Doesn't mean that we gotta believe them and accept what they're saying and how they're viewing us as the truth, as gospel, but understand that what they're saying is true to them. This is how they see and perceive us. So Mila's teacher, my daughter's teacher, might perceive her and see her as someone who will struggle and suffer with this class, whereas I don't. And that's her perception. That's how she interprets it. Now she's giving my daughter a program that she's gonna take some time to heal and work through. That is, I'm stupid, I'm not dumb, I'm not intelligent enough to take this, I'm not good enough, right? So the point is that all of you have a bunch of these types of programs through your teachers, through your friends, through your parents, through your grandparents, strangers, even. If, let's say, someone, even your mom said, "Oh, she's shy. She's not, she takes time to warm up to people." Guess what? That program went right in. You became a shy person without you even having a choice. And now you take time to warm up to people and you're really shy. Versus with my kids, oh, they're really outgoing, they're really friendly, they'll make friends with everyone, they're easygoing, they can have conversations with anyone. That's how my kids are now, right? It, our kids become, we become the programs that have been fed to us unconsciously, and then consciously we get to choose which ones we want, which ones we don't. So maybe take the time to make a list of all these programs that have been given to you, all these labels that have been given to you that you don't like, and work on changing them and change your reality and change your truth and identify what kind of a leader you're being right now and what kind of leader you want to be. So we've all been conditioned, we've all been programmed, and we all have our voice. And when you begin to speak your truth and express yourself honestly, one of the things I noticed, and you might notice this as well, is you might have, not necessarily the word coming to mind is issue. Some of you might already experience is that you're there's some kind of an issue with your throat. Maybe you get a sore throat very often, or maybe you lose your voice when you try to speak up, when you try to express yourself, because it's throat chakra, meaning that when you're working on your throat chakra and you're healing it, your body will unconsciously try to protect you from healing, because it means that there's going to be change, there's going to be discomforts, and your body is designed to protect you, to keep you safe so you don't get hurt. Growing and changing and doing something different is going to cause you discomfort, which is, in the body's language, it's getting hurt. It's And that's why it's designed to prevent you. That's why when you do something different, initially it feels good and great, and then before you know it, you might find yourself not doing those things anymore. Or doing less and less and less of them because they're uncomfortable, because you're really good at talking yourself out of those things. Really good. And remember, if you're talking yourself out of things, you're leading others behind you, consciously or unconsciously, that they might not be seeing the things that you do and don't do, but they're feeling, and that energy transfers to them as well. And subconsciously, you're leading them that way, or consciously, you're leading them that way. So that's where I would probably, wrap it up with somewhat of a pretty bow. And I'd love to hear what your closing thoughts are, as well, Anna, on this topic.
Yeah, let's see. Uh, wow. I noticed that I had the other microphone on because of the meeting yesterday or the other day when you couldn't hear me, and Zoom
Mm,
remembers the settings. And I thought I was muting myself with this one, but it was not. Yeah, I don't know why it keeps on going on and off. Anyway, um, wrapping it, as I mentioned, if you take one thing from today's conversation, you are a leader. And whether what kind of leader it's based on, this is also from my pack, by the way. We are all leaders. And the question is, are we consciously leading or unconsciously, right? And what you were saying that when we suppress things, when we allow our programming to show up, and this is how we show up, this is how we lead. And everything we do, like everything we do, everything we say, we lead ourselves, we lead others.
yeah,
So if you get one thing from today is you're a leader and it's time to show up consciously as a leader, shine your light. And the truth is that we are all limitless beings with so much potential. Like we are all, whatever you want to call us, like awareness or that infinite being. And keeping ourselves small doesn't serve us, doesn't serve anyone. And I challenge every single one of us listening, watching this, rewatching, to step up. One small thing, step up. And if you have questions, like we're here for you. If you want help with really uncovering who you are and shedding that program and figuring out what your true values are, who you are authentically, we actually have something coming up. So reach out. Even now we have programs and things that can help you in this journey of stepping into your true unicorn power.
mhm,
We do have something very special coming up. So I'm really excited about it.
me
Just
too.
mentioning it. So yeah, step into leadership. You are a leader.
Yeah. And like we said in the beginning, that we're all leaders, whether by choice or by default. And when it comes to your truth play has an impact. As a leader, you inspire trust and loyalty because people follow those who are real, not those who pretend to have it all together. As a mother, your children learn self-acceptance, courage, and emotional intelligence from watching you navigate your life honestly. Meaning you're not hiding everything from your kids and you being open and honest. And when you're struggling, doesn't mean you go and tell your kids and burden them with your struggles, but you're letting them know that you're going through a more challenging time right now. But this is what you're doing, this is what's helping you, right? You're teaching and you're educating, you're leading your kids. As a wife or a partner, your relationships, they deepen because the true connection, it actually thrives on authenticity and it does not thrive on performance and you trying to be someone for your partner and it will thrive on you being open and honest, because when you're performing, they can tell. They can feel the energy. They know you're not being something is off, right? And if they're tuned in to their intuition, they'll know that she's just trying to be someone she's not. I'm gonna protect myself and not be open and honest. But if you want true open and honest connection, we need to be authentic. And as a business owner or a career woman, for some of you, you will attract the right clients, the right opportunities and collaborations by showing up as you and not as who you think you should be or supposed to be or could be. You show up as you. I show up as, here's the fuzzy dice. Then my cat is gonna get snipped, and now I'm part of me surprised that I'm not in a bigger panic that they haven't called yet to pick him up. But the other part of me is like, I know that no matter what happens, that I will work through it and I will figure it out, and that it's not the end, right? And if something was wrong, they probably would have called me. And at the same time, who knows? But um, the biggest reason why we keep a lot of things to ourselves and we're not opening up and not speaking our truth, not healing our throat chakra, is due to fears of being seen. We all want to be seen, but we're scared to be seen. We all want to be heard, but we're scared to be heard. We're scared to speak the truth and for someone to hear us, who we truly are, and then be rejected for it. But if one rejects you, five more will accept you, right? What we If we're scared of rejection, we'll attract more of that rejection into our life. If we're scared of success, we'll attract more of that
I'm scared of
fear.
$10 million. I'm scared of $10 million, you know?
I know, right? Let's all be scared of that. But also, when we're scared of success, often there's the fear of failure attached to it. But failure only is only failure when you quit and you give up. That's it. Otherwise, if you keep going, success is inevitable. And that is, I mean, look at all these inventions. All of these things that we're even using now to have these conversations, there's people who have chosen to persevere, to keep going no matter what. Failure was not an option, which means quitting, giving up is not an option. That keep going no matter what and make it work. If it's not working, find a way that it works. So if you speaking your truth is not working, find a different way. Speak in a different way. Learn a different language. Not an actual different language, but the words that you're using. And
Well,
check.
if you want to learn a different language, learn a different language.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Wunderbar. Guten Tag.
yeah,
Wie
it might be
geht's?
harder to communicate with some people, right? If you're trying to get your point across and you're just learning a different language, actual different language, just to get a point across, be like, huh? Um, but yeah, that's honestly where I would end. I can't think of anything else to add to today's topic of authenticity and leadership and inspiring others through your truth, through our own truth. Um, that's it. Oh, perfect timing. Recording stopped. I just want to say thank you, everybody who was on here live with us, who is watching the replay, and even especially thank you to all of you who are sitting down and taking notes and utilizing this free high school here that you have the lessons that are put right in front of you, the knowledge and wisdom that is shared with you, that you are not only learning but hopefully applying. Which brings me to my favorite question is, what is your biggest takeaway from this whole entire podcast today? A lot have been said and done here, but in the end, there's this one thing that you're walking away with that is in your mind. What is it? And then what are you going to do with it? Because the goal here is not just acquire knowledge, because knowledge is not power, but to apply it, because applied knowledge is power. So You have new knowledge, you have new awareness. How are you going to apply it into your life starting today, not tomorrow? Don't put things off. Don't continue with that habit that you already have. Let's all be honest. We all have that habit. You got to break that habit because it's not necessarily a healthy one. If you can do something today, do it today. Don't put off what you can do today for tomorrow because somebody else is doing the things that you're putting off to do tomorrow. They're doing them today and they'll be further ahead. And let's be honest, we all want to be ahead of someone else, right? We all want to win at the end. And then, of course, we all at the same time, like, winning is an illusion. Even life itself is an illusion. So that's how I would end. We'll see each other live next week at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time for another one of these amazing podcasts on Heal the Unicorn. And the topic that we will have for you next week will be gratitude as a tool for spiritual connection. So we'll help you to understand what gratitude is, how to use it as a tool to deepen your spiritual connection, your spiritual understanding, and your spiritual self. Um, Otherwise, thank you, Anna, as well, for being on here. And hello to all
Thank
of the
you.
new members. And um, what's up? How you doing to all of our OG members
Oh,
as
gee,
well?
yeah. I see someone tell me saying I'm a leader, so woohoo, celebrate.
That's right. Own it and show them what it's like to be a leader. So thank you, everybody. Until we see each other next week, 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time, back here in the same time, same place every week. Heal the Unicorn.
Yeah, just a note that we are springing forward because we are stupid and still doing this. Uh, so the 145 might be a little bit different for you if you're not springing in any ways.
Yeah,
So yeah, just keep
a
this in
reminder.
mind
Yeah,
because yeah, a reminder because I do think that even in Canada and US, not everyone changes. So
yeah.
uh, yeah, just a reminder that it's that time of the year.
Well, another thing to adjust to. Time, right? Losing an hour, gaining an hour, it still messes up our sleep and it causes jet lag. We don't have to fly in a plane to experience jet lag, by the way. Just 1 hour of sleep, too much or too little, is going to potentially cause us feeling that jet lag. That's why sleep is so important. Go to bed the same time, wake up the same time every day, including the weekends, and eat your meals around the same time, including the weekends. Having that structure, healthy routine throughout the day makes a big difference as well. That's one of the things, one of the topics we actually cover in the quest, in the imposter banishing quest, going into depth with all those things. So that's it. We're done talking now. We'll see each other next week. Have an amazing the rest of your day, ladies, and the rest of your week if we don't see you for the rest of the week. Bye, everybody.